Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are exploring cultural immersion and exchange programs. We've got this script, and
Yeah.
it really seems to be selling the whole experience. But before you pack your bags, we're gonna break down what really matters.
They're going to give you the insider's guide,
Yeah.
not the glossy brochure.
Okay. So to start, the script really pushes this idea of cultural exchange programs as a bridge between cultures, and it's all about promoting understanding and tolerance.
hmm
But I'm curious, what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about visiting a new country.
Hmm.
It's about the daily interactions, the challenges you overcome, and the relationships that you build.
The relationships.
And those experiences are
Yeah.
where the true learning
So
happens.
it's not just learning facts about another culture, it's
Right.
about actually experiencing it.
Yeah. And the script highlights four main types of programs.
Yeah.
And each one sort of offers a different flavor of that experience. We've got the student exchanges, which are kind of a deep dive into another education system. You're not just learning about history and science, but you're also learning how another culture approaches these subjects.
I remember reading about a student who said that learning math in another language completely changed how they thought about problem solving.
Right.
It's like looking at the world through a different lens.
Exactly. And then there are work and internship programs.
Hmm.
These are less about textbooks and more about navigating a professional environment in another culture. Think about the communication styles,
Right.
workplace norms, the unspoken rules. Those are all things you wouldn't get from a textbook.
Yeah, it's like getting a crash course in cultural competency while also building your resume.
Definitely. Now, if you're drawn to making a difference, the script also mentions volunteer programs. These are about contributing to a community while also immersing yourself in a different way of life.
I've always been curious about those. It seems like a way to experience a culture from a grassroots level,
Hmm.
working alongside local people, really understanding their needs.
And the script mentions government and cultural delegations, which are more formal exchanges.
Right.
But it's interesting to consider how those, while focusing on international relations, also expose individuals to a new culture on a personal level.
It's like diplomacy meets cultural immersion. So we've got this whole spectrum of programs. Each one offers a unique way to experience another culture.
Yeah.
But the script doesn't shy away from the challenges either.
Oh, it's important. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Right.
There will be times of frustration, confusion, even homesickness.
Of course, of course.
But, those are the moments that force you to grow.
It's like that saying, smooth seas don't make skilled sailors.
Right.
But how do you prepare for those inevitable bumps in the road?
I think mental preparation is key.
Okay.
The script touches on this subtly. I think it's crucial to acknowledge that there will be times when you feel lost or out of place.
Hmm.
Maybe even question why you signed up in the first place.
So you're saying a little pre-trip anxiety is a good thing?
In a way, yeah. It means that you're acknowledging the reality of this situation.
Hmm.
You're not going on a vacation. You're stepping into a new world. And that's going to require adaptability, resilience, and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
That makes sense. It's about going in with realistic expectations, knowing that there will be challenges,
Yeah.
but that those challenges are part of the growth process.
Absolutely. That's why building a support system is crucial.
Okay.
The script mentions connecting with program alumni and mentors.
Yeah.
I think that is valuable advice.
So you're saying don't go it alone. Tap into the network of people who have walked the path before you.
Exactly. They can offer practical advice,
Yeah.
emotional support, maybe even some funny anecdotes to lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Remember, you're not the first person to go through this,
Hmm.
and you won't be the last. There's a whole community out there to support you.
That's reassuring. It's like knowing there's a safety net, even when you're stepping out on a high wire. But what about the actual experience of being in another culture? I mean, how do you even begin to navigate those differences?
Well, that's where the real learning begins.
Yeah.
And I think the script provides a really great starting point. Respect.
Okay.
It sounds simple, but it is the foundation.
Yeah.
Respect for the culture, respect for the people, respect for the differences you encounter.
So it's not about trying to blend in, it's about acknowledging those differences
Yeah.
and approaching them with respect and a willingness to learn.
Exactly. And the script mentions embracing new experiences with curiosity, which I think is key. It's about approaching those differences not with fear or judgment, but with a genuine desire to understand.
So it's like turning culture shock into culture curiosity.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's about shifting your perspective from, this is weird,
right.
to, This is interesting. Why is this done this way?
What can I learn from this?
Yeah.
That reminds me of something a former exchange student said in the script. Learning a new culture was like opening a new book, exciting, enriching, and life-changing.
It speaks to the transformative power of stepping outside your comfort zone. And it's not just about personal growth. Research shows that participation in these programs can lead to increased self-confidence, adaptability, and cross-cultural competence, skills that are highly valued in today's world.
So it's not just a feel-good experience. You're actually building tangible skills. Okay, so we've got a good grasp on what these programs are about. We've talked about the potential benefits, the challenges. But let's say you're convinced, you're ready to apply. Where do you begin?
Well, the script lays out a pretty clear roadmap for navigating that process.
Okay.
And it breaks it down into 5 key steps, starting with research.
Let's dive into that in part 2.
Yeah, research is where it all begins. It's about figuring out what you want to gain from this experience and finding a program that really aligns with your goals. Do you want to focus on language acquisition, professional development, community engagement? Each program has a different focus, so you got to do your homework.
It's not just about picking a cool destination. It's about finding the right program that fits your personal and professional life.
Absolutely. And once you have a short list of programs, the next step, as the script points out, is eligibility. This is where you need to look at the nitty-gritty details. What are the academic requirements? Do you need specific language proficiency? Are there age restrictions? It's easy to get swept up in the excitement, but you got to make sure you qualify.
It's like checking the fine print before you sign up for anything. You don't want to get your heart set on something only to find out you don't meet the criteria.
Right. And speaking of getting your heart set on something, the next step is often the most daunting, the application.
Yeah.
This is where you really need to sell yourself. The script mentions essays, recommendations, the whole shebang, and it can feel overwhelming. I think the key here is authenticity.
So it's not just ticking boxes and meeting requirements. It's about conveying your passion and why you're the perfect fit for this program.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let your personality shine through. Why are you drawn to this program? What unique skills can you bring? What do you hope to learn? The application is your chance to tell your story.
And I imagine a killer recommendation letter can go a long way.
Oh, absolutely. Choose recommenders who can really speak to your strengths. Give them plenty of notice. Provide them with the information they need. Remember, they're vouching for you, so make sure they're equipped to sing your praises.
So you've nailed the application, you've got stellar recommendations. What's next? The dreaded interview.
That's right. Some programs use interviews to really get a sense of who you are beyond the paper. This is your chance to make a personal connection, showcase your enthusiasm, and demonstrate your genuine interest.
I've always found interviews nerve-wracking. Do you have any tips for making a good impression?
Definitely. Preparation is key. Research the program, anticipate questions, and practice your answers. And it's also helpful to think about specific examples that illustrate your skills. Remember, interviewers are looking for someone who is articulate, passionate, and genuinely interested. So relax, be yourself, and let your enthusiasm shine.
So much good advice here. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, funding.
Yep.
These programs can be expensive. Does the script offer any guidance on navigating that?
It does. The script emphasizes the importance of exploring scholarship options and financial aid. And this is where resourcefulness comes in. There are countless organizations out there that offer scholarships specifically for study abroad or internships. It's about doing your research, casting a wide net, and not being afraid to ask for help.
So it's like a treasure hunt. The money is out there. You just have to be willing to dig for it.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of creative fundraising. Think bake sales, car washes, or even launching a crowdfunding campaign. If you're passionate about making this experience happen, there is always a way.
That's encouraging. It's about seeing the financial challenge not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to be creative and resourceful.
Precisely. And remember, it's an investment in yourself. The skills, experiences, the perspectives you gain, they're invaluable.
It's like that saying, travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer. But in this case, it goes beyond souvenirs. It's about personal growth, the cultural understanding, the expanded worldview. Those are the real treasures.
That's beautifully put. And speaking of treasures, the script emphasizes a point. These programs benefit more than just the individual. They have a ripple effect on society.
That's an interesting perspective. It's like the idea of paying it forward.
Yeah.
You gain so much from the experience that you naturally want to share that with others.
Exactly. It's about becoming a cultural ambassador. sharing your experiences and promoting understanding. And the script actually uses a powerful quote to illustrate this point. My experience abroad changed my outlook on life. Now, I work in international relations, helping build bridges between cultures.
That's powerful. It's not just about a semester abroad. It's about planting a seed that can grow into a
Right.
lifelong commitment to fostering global understanding.
And when we think about the complex challenges facing our world,
Mm.
climate change, social injustice, economic disparities, the need for individuals who can bridge these divides and collaborate across borders is more apparent than ever.
It's like equipping a whole generation with the skills and perspectives needed
Yeah.
to tackle those global challenges. So it's not just about personal growth, it's about contributing to a
Yeah.
more interconnected and understanding world.
Absolutely. And that connects back to what we discussed earlier about mental preparation. It's not just about preparing for the challenges you might face, but also understanding the context you're going to be immersed in.
It's about doing your research on the host country's history, culture, current events, being aware of your own biases and being open to challenging them.
Exactly. It's about going beyond the tourist experience and
Yeah.
engaging with the culture on a deeper level. And that's where things can get really interesting because when you step outside your comfort zone and immerse yourself in another culture, you're bound to encounter situations that challenge your worldview.
You're talking about those aha moments.
Yes.
Where you realize that your way of seeing things isn't the only way or even the best way.
Right. And those moments can be uncomfortable, even disorienting, but they're incredibly valuable. They force you to question your assumptions, broaden your perspective, and grow.
It's like shaking up that snow globe of your mind and seeing the world from a different angle. But I imagine those aha moments can be funny. You know, like those cultural mishaps or misunderstandings.
Oh, absolutely. I remember when I was studying abroad, I was in this small village in Italy, and I was trying to order coffee,
Mm-hmm.
and I must have used the wrong hand gesture or something,
Oh.
because the barista looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language, which I guess I was.
This hilarious. It reminds me of that saying, you don't really know a culture until you've made a fool of yourself in it.
Yeah.
But those moments are also what make the experience memorable. And I imagine it helps you connect with people on a
Oh, absolutely.
human level.
It's about embracing those moments
Yeah.
and using them as opportunities to learn and grow.
Oh.
And I think that's something the script really captures well. This idea of cultural exchange being a two-way street.
Okay.
It's not just about learning about another culture, it's also about sharing your own.
So it's about being a cultural ambassador in both directions,
Yeah.
learning from them, teaching them about you.
Exactly. And that's where the magic happens. Because when you start sharing these stories and experiences, you realize that despite all our differences, we have so much in common.
It's like finding those universal human experiences that just transcend cultural boundaries. That brings us back to the script's tagline, bridging cultures, building futures.
Yeah.
It's a powerful statement. But what does it actually mean to you? What kind of future do you see these programs building?
I see a future where cultural understanding is not just a nice to have, but a necessity. A future where we collaborate across borders to address global challenges, where empathy and respect are the norm, and where diversity is celebrated. I think these programs are crucial in building that future, one bridge at a time.
It's like laying the groundwork for a more interconnected and compassionate world.
Exactly. And as we've seen in this deep dive, cultural immersion and exchange programs are more than just travel. They're an investment in yourself, your community, and in the future.
So if you're listening to this and you're feeling even a little bit curious, I encourage you to take that next step. Do your research, talk to people, and explore the possibilities.
Don't let fear hold you back. Embrace the adventure, challenge yourself, and step into a world of possibilities.
And who knows, maybe you'll even change the world along the way. Well, that's it for this deep dive into cultural immersion and exchange programs. We hope this has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the world.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.